prototype that we ran through the first prototype evaluation of ENGI 200. One of the big things that we really wanted to focus on was being able to turn the actual physical pages, as well as if we did acrylic as opposed to some of the rougher type of wood that we've had surfaced before. One thing that we corrected is in our previous prototype, the parallel dowel rods were actually not parallel, they were slightly put like this. So this way we could actually laser cut things and make sure that the dowel rods were parallel. One problem we've noticed with the central column is that the spacing in between them is sort of uneven and haphazard. One problem that we think the problem is that previously the spacing in between these were 1 millimeter each. Upon completion of the whole book, we realized that 1 millimeter was too big, and so our client had told us to do alternate between 1 millimeter and 1/2 millimeter for each one. While this does give us the proper height, it also creates these inconsistencies.
So another component that we have identified as it being an issue is just the wobbly nature of our whole design. As you can see, this dowel rod isn't very secure, and as you can see, it can move back and forth very easily. And so one of the things we want to do moving forward is just making sure that we tighten this up so that you don't see as much movement. Not only that, but if you notice, the central column is also not very well supported in that it's not fixed, so it can move back and forth, and that also increases the shakiness of our whole device. And so moving forward, what we want to do is just ensure that these can be as fixed as possible. So this is our current design of the wheel. As you can see, when I roll it, it gets caught, and so essentially its function as a wheel is lost because of its lack of rolling. And so as a team, what we've decided, something that would maybe work better is if we essentially replace the wheel with a pin or something close to the tip of a ballpoint pen, where we reduce the amount of surface area that contacts the acrylic so that it has the least amount of friction but still supports the page.
One other thing Michaela had mentioned is that right now we have the frame out of 2x4. This was just more for ease of use, and that way we could just build it. She suggested that we maybe think about building this out of metal and this centerpiece out of metal. That way it's more consistent and it's going to hold up better over time. Another thing Michaela had mentioned is that right now our screws are slightly up. One thing we might want to do in future iterations is create basically a little divot where we could sink these below surface level, so that way it'd be a lot smoother and no one can catch their jewelry on it or bump into it, and it's just gonna look nicer. So one thing our faculty mentor did mention is that because we're using wood dowel rods for this section, the wood dowel rods might warp or be slightly bended. So what Michaela had suggested is maybe switching these out for metal rods, and so that way we can be sure that we're getting a straight across line. So one problem we've identified is that when you turn the page, because we don't have the same horizontal support underneath here as we did the last time, the tab bends backwards, and this causes the tab to sort of slip back, and the force is uneven and not very tight and secure.